Sweetheart, sorry, I'm in the middle of a TEDx talk. I can't talk right now. Okay, busy, busy. Ciao, ciao. Sorry. Girlfriend problems. I want you all to close your eyes. Come on then. Imagine a night has just passed by. Open your eyes, please. Don't fall asleep. Some of you wake up, and some of you don't. It is estimated that 200,000 people don't wake up every morning. It is said every second 2 people die. I want to take you back to 2005, April 20th. I was a student and I was working a part-time job. I had a call from my work. I was asked to cover a shift at the petrol station. My shift usually runs from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. At 9:15, since it was a really busy day, I decided to pull a chair, sit down, read my text messages. As I was replying to some text messages and looking at random bullshit, I heard the door click. Usually when a person comes inside, the door clicks. So I stood up, I looked, and I saw a person kneeling down, and the person was having his back turned towards me. And then he got up. As he was walking towards me, I realized he had a black mask on his face. I said, "Hello, good evening. How can I help you?" So, next thing I know, he pulled out a black bag, kept it on the table, and he said, "Put all the money inside, no funny business." We're in April. Maybe it's a late April Fool's prank, you know? So I was smiling, and I was thinking the cameras are going to come out, and somebody's going to say, "April Fool." So, but this really annoyed the person. Trust me. Don't do this, trust me. And the next minute, he took out a gun from his pocket, loaded it, pointed straight at me. This was the time I believed this is real. It's a real gun. I was doing exactly as I was told to do. My mind was completely blank. I had my eyes on the trigger, and I hoped that guy would not push it. I was panicking. The whole ordeal lasted for about 120 seconds. And trust me, this is the longest 120 seconds of my life. What happened after was a lot of stress, anxiety, and sleepless nights. I would often go inside my room, lock myself up, turn the lights off, and just think about, what if there was no tomorrow? What if that guy had pushed the trigger? What if there was no tomorrow? I did this for a few days, months, and so on. Luckily, I had some friends I could talk this over to. Sooner or later, I realized I needed to go out of this. So, pondering upon this question, what if there was no tomorrow? I needed an answer. I took 3 fingers, pointed it this way, and I asked myself again, what if there was no tomorrow? It made me realize I had to go and chase things what meant the most to me. I had to go after what was meaningful, because time is limited on this planet. First things first. I was in the UK, I had a stable job, I had a job offer after my graduation, and I was well settled there. So I had a choice to make. Was I really happy what I was doing, or should I go? I discussed this thing with a few of my friends, my parents, my family, my relatives, and the often discussion was, don't go, you have a job, you have everything, but I was not happy what I was doing. Let me tell you a small story. So, I don't know how many of you know Airbus, but we're in Toulouse, so we have nothing to lose. So, let me tell you a small story. In 2005, there was an aircraft that took off. And the way they described this aircraft was that the wingspan was the size of a football field. Wow! I was in 9th grade in school, and that caught my fascination that I wanted to join Airbus. So, how do I go there? Somehow I'd given up on that dream. After this incident, I said, well, I'm going to France, I'm going to Airbus. So, growing up in India, as a boy, you're only given 2 options to study, either engineering or engineering. So, I decided I'm going to change the course of my studies and also apply for a job with Airbus. On graduation, I came to France, I graduated, and then on graduation, I had to apply for a job. So, the only place I applied for was Airbus. So, when I did my first application, I was so excited, I kept checking, refresh, 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 refresh. Did I get an answer? No. I waited for a few days, and the reply was, thank you for applying. After careful consideration, we have rejected you. Woo! Okay. So I said, let my excitement not die. I'm going to try again. I applied again. The result, the same. Applied again. The result, the same. After 10 applications, I said, well, you know what? I have some self-doubt. Maybe this is not what I want. But then, I found myself in this dark room again, thinking about this question. What if there was no tomorrow? I had to pursue what I wanted to do. After 75 applications, guess what? I got in. So, thank you. Okay, so after I got in, I was always fond of meeting the CEO. Ask me why, because we share the same birthday. So, also Emmanuel Macron, but don't tell the Gilly Jones outside. So I decided to write an email to him to say, hey, I want to meet you for a coffee because we share the same birthday. Yeah. So I discussed this with a few of my mentors, my teachers, my boss, and the answer was, you're crazy. Why would you do that? And I said, well, because we share the same birthday. So anyway, my hands were trembling when I was sending this email. Trust me, I was really scared. I thought I'm going to get in trouble. But the minute I realized I'm in trouble, again, took 3 fingers out, pointed to my head, and I asked myself, what if there's no tomorrow? Can I do this or can I not? And the answer was 30 minutes with a lovely time, having coffee and lots of advice. So it was amazing. What if things don't go your way? These were the examples where things went your way. Say, suppose somebody kept a football here, asked me to kick it from here all the way to India. I can't. Even if I had a gun to my head, I just can't. I don't have the physical constraints to do it. More importantly, what I want to say is that the gun question helps you focus on things whether you can do it or you can't, or you just don't waste time and you move on. So, with this, I'd like to tell you, next time you have a difficult situation, ask yourself this question by taking 3 fingers, pointing here, can you do this or can you not? I will leave you by asking you one more time, what if there is no tomorrow? Thank you.